You know, one of the advantages for Meghan Markle in marrying Prince Harry was he didn't really ask too many questions. That was all down, of course, to his elder and some say wiser brother, His Royal Highness Prince William, the Prince of Wales. And once, of course, Harry was questioned by that, that really set off a catalyst, didn't it? You know, because very quickly, if you think about it, Meghan Markle came to the defence. People picking on her, race, colour, creed, all that sort of stuff. Whether you like Meghan Markle or not, you have to admit that she's played a very good long game. And people forget this, you know, if you remember, she pointed out and sat on the world stage alongside a BBC reporter saying, well, the royal family weren't really much of a thing to her in America. Yet we know that she was addicted to anything Princess Diana. So she openly lied and Harry openly let her sat beside him. Or did he? You know, really, did he truly believe everything she said? As the late Queen famously pointed out, Harry was just a little bit too in love. That could be the true case. What's now unfolding, though, really, is Meghan Markle's, and some people might say, worst nightmare. Because as you know, chums, they often say, don't they, that your past comes back to haunt you. As somebody who's been in show business a long time, I can testify to that, particularly if people remember seeing you in certain shows, whatever you're doing. I'm jesting, of course, but do you know what I mean? You can only hide away from things so long. And suddenly, when you've treated people very badly for a long period of time, over a long period of time, people will take no more. We've seen the likes of, you know, Millie McIntosh, Jessica Mulrooney, flicked away like ants in the storyboard that now is no longer required. Yet Meghan, of course, talks about empathy, being there, showing up for people, just letting them know that you care. Her whole sort of empire in her mind is built upon the fact that, well, people like her because she does that, letting them know that she's made something for them simply because she's thinking about them. Consequently, she wasn't really thinking too much about this. And this now, many people suggest, truly will engulf her. As ever, let me explain. Hi, morning chums, nice to see you today here on a very autumnal winter's day in the very heart of the United Kingdom. I hope you're keeping well, whatever you're doing. Do take care of yourselves. It's starting to spit again now, yeah? You see, I've told you this before, haven't I? The minute that we start having a conversation, down come the rains. Who remembers that, the day the rains came down? Do you remember who sang it? Jane Morgan. Yes, you see, you're showing your age. This is the beauty about this channel. We can share those little bonbons with each other, and suddenly we found out we've all got something similar in common. When you think about it, there's been a lot in common, of course, for Prince Harry. Things are really derailing, and you know, whether you like Harry or not, the person that he was, the person that the royal family cultivated, he wasn't a bad stick. You know, you could say he tried his best, he did the role that he was set out to do, and suddenly, because somebody like Meghan Markle showed him that actually, you know, you didn't really need to do this life, you could do something else. Well, he decided he was going to do something else. It always looks exciting, doesn't it, on the other side of the coin, you know, the grass is greener, that sort of stuff. And Harry felt, as he famously said on the Windsor Freedom Flight, well, you know, this was going to change his life, they were going to take on the world. And you can understand how exactly a manipulator like Meghan Markle bent his ear to such a degree. This was all down to her own inadequacies, really. She could not abide that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was going to be the star. You know, she will be our future queen. She's exemplary in the way that she details her, you know, outlook, and more importantly, the way she dispenses with royal duties. She's kind, caring, and comes across genuinely like that. And I've been lucky enough to be close, and you can't fake that sort of kindness. It's ultimately there. Meghan picked up on that and thought, no, I want superstardom, and this is the key to it. The bigger problem now that Meghan has, really, is her past. It's coming, as I say, to twist around. And this really, everybody thought, and she probably thought as well, that she would be saved from what was deemed her first marriage, right? And what was interesting here is Trevor, yes, he was, of course, the man that, well, promised Meghan a lot and sadly failed to deliver. And certain people I've known, who worked inside the Montecito mansion tell me that that's Harry's biggest fear. You know, Meghan feels she's been let down all of her life by men around her, allegedly including her father, Thomas Markle, who we know gave everything, but clearly it wasn't enough. Moving forward, what's fascinating is that Harry feels that, you know, he's on thin ice because if he can't deliver, will Meghan look elsewhere? Well, now her first husband, Trevor Engelson, has let this out. But more importantly, there is more to come. And the reason being, well, let me explain. You know, Meghan has always been really keen to share the fact that her first marriage to Trevor Engelson, the respected film producer, and when you think about it, gone on to bigger and better things. Well, it wasn't the perfect marriage. You know, the little bits that she has spoke about to former staff members and friends, apparently, you know, it just didn't work out the way it should have done. Now, you know, you can read into that which way you want. The bigger story I would suggest is that Trevor wasn't quick enough, fast enough, or moved in the right circles enough for Meghan to get what she was looking for, which was fast Hollywood stardom. And as we all know, it really fell apart very, very quickly. And consequently, the story goes that Meghan, you know, pushed the key back and pushed the ring back and all of that sort of stuff, treating him abysmally when you think. Even, of course, her father, she banned from allowing to take pictures on that very special day, a day apparently that was the happiest of her life. And you'll notice over the period that Meghan has recreated very similar pictures, photographs that are now being put out on Instagram alongside Harry. You know, clearly she has one idea and it's replicated time and time again. The bigger problem now, though, is that people are not bothered. You know, Meghan and Harry have shot their bolt literally from every corner. Hollywood is now turning their back on them. The people, the movers and shakers, can see right through her. She's an oddity, something that you could actually have something of a laugh with, right? And the bigger picture that you've now got for Meghan is she doesn't realise they're secretly laughing at her. Prince Harry's got no idea because it's not the sort of world he lives in. He doesn't realise that show business is ruthlessly cruel, and Meghan is clinging on. This particular bombshell from, of course, a former associate of Trevor, well, it says it all. Will she close the deal? Or she'll close okay? This apparently sent reverberations around the Montecito mansion. And Harry is not allowed to look, get this, at sort of newspapers because apparently, according to a good source who worked there, this would disturb his mental health, you know, how he feels on a daily basis. So Meghan very cleverly, again, I have to say allegedly, has curated the fact that he lives in something of a bubble. What she shows him, according to that source, are just negative stories related to her. Nothing, of course, related to what could happen or what has happened regarding her. So why is this a problem? Well, it's two things, right? And this is fascinating. If Trevor Engelson wanted this particular story shut down, he could very much make that shut down. But he's not. He's more than happy for somebody to be his mouthpiece, to speak out and say, this is what happened behind the scenes. This is exactly what I went through. And part of the problem that you've got with that is Meghan can't stop him. You see, the deal was that neither would speak about their relationship, simply because, of course, Trevor really was wrung out, had enough, and was near a breakdown, according to an excellent source that knows him well. He didn't see it coming. All along the line, according to that source, Meghan told him, no, they were still madly in love. It was only when the ring arrived did the bombshell really hit him. And I feel sorry for Trevor because clearly he was enamoured, as many men have been. Many men, right? Now, here's where this gets really interesting because, as I said, if he wanted to shut this particular story down, well, he's not bothered. He's allowing this even more. And there's going to be more to come because this is the way that he feels because, of course, I believe that Trevor really sort of sees it as other people should know what apparently Meghan was like during that time. And more importantly, you know, now he feels even very sad for Thomas Markle. Apparently got on very well with him and other members of the family. Doesn't understand exactly why Meghan turned against him. Neither does the father. You get the picture. Moving forward, though, where this gets really interesting is there are other bombshells, as I say, that are going to be dropped just as and when Meghan least expects this. And more importantly, this could not have come at a worse time for Meghan Markle, just trying to shore up a very final outing for Netflix with As Love Meghan, and suddenly people are talking again about her cruelness, her nastiness, the way she's dismissed people, the way that clearly she's a manipulator. She's putting herself out there as a person who's kind, caring, sharing, and more importantly, trying to show the world how to live a better life. The trouble is, her past is now truly catching up with her. And just around the time of this series, I've been told another bombshell is looming. It's developing, and naturally, we will be there for you. Neil Sean in the very heart of the United Kingdom.